Welcome to another episode of 50 Shades and Grey. Now, tonight is the last of a 4-series episode where we followed the journeys of 3 brave women who have shared their experiences of online dating apps, and meeting people in organic situations. They've shared their thoughts, their feelings, their ups and their downs, and through the podcast, they found friendship, support, and a empathy for each other that's gone far beyond what I ever expected this podcast to achieve. I'm delighted to welcome all 3 ladies for the last time of this mini-series. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing, ladies? Are we all good?
All good.
Good, thank you.
The last one of our podcast, so Fee, you can actually start us off, because if you've had a brilliant week, want to hear about it, what's gone on this week?
Okay, well, started off on a high. I thought I had a date on Sunday and it was cancelled. Thought it was going to be arranged, it wasn't. I went crashing down on Wednesday, had a few tears and a bit like, I'm not doing this anymore, blah, blah, blah. Paused the dating apps, went back on Saturday, matched with someone, really nice. I've had phone calls with him and I've got a date on Thursday with him. From going from low all the way down to back up again. I think that's just what dating apps are like, though.
Have you all found that quite typical?
Yeah, very much so.
Buses, there's like none and then loads.
I know. And then the ups and the downs, it goes, you go on this high and then you come crashing down. And it just makes you feel really shit. It really does make you feel like, oh, God. Because you start to self-doubt yourself as well. And it brings out lots of insecurities.
So what are your instincts with this guy, or your instincts sometimes muffled slightly because you know that you can get excited and then it could lead to nothing?
Yeah. This one I feel a little bit more excited about. You know, sometimes when you just date for the sake of it, or you match with someone for the sake of it, you're not really feeling it. This one, we've gone straight into the phone calls. I've got the excitement there. I'm looking forward to it. He's on paper my type, hopefully, but you never know. You never know till you get that date. And I'm hoping there is that little bit of spark and that little bit of chemistry, because we've been having a laugh and banter. Not too much messages throughout the day, because I think that spoils it. I think you need to like go out and meet someone quite soon, like we've said before.
Yeah.
And the endless messaging is just no good. So yeah, date on Thursday. So watch your space.
That sounds great. Joe, how's your week been?
Well, so I was going on a date on last week, wasn't I? And then I cancelled the date quite late before going.
Why?
Well, you see, this is going to make me sound like a really bad person. So last week when I was saying, oh, is this and is that and is the other. So we had a conversation, and then when we came off the phone, I got a message back and it just said, oh, it was fantastic to speak to you. I can feel the chemistry down the phone. It just feels like it's going to be the next big thing. And I was like, I kept having to say, I need to meet you first. Let's just see how we go. And that was happening from Tuesday, wasn't it? So we got off the phone. So I got this like intense bombing. And then, oh, I like coffee. Here's my coffee machine. What's your favourite meal? What's your favourite drink? What's your favourite? And I thought, oh, just go with it and just be kind and message. And then the messages were getting quite intense in the fact that they were saying, oh, so what is it about me? Like, I'm not special. I said, I don't really know you at the minute. We're going to have a first meet up and then we'll go from there. And then before we were going to go for the date, and I just said, oh, look, if you want to just change the time a bit, give yourself a bit of slack, have some food, get ready, you know. I think about these things, quite nice. And then I like food. So it just came back with, I'm sure I'll have enough time to make myself to look good for you. I just hope that when we meet that you like me. And it was all that kind of like quite needy narrative all the time over the period. And then I said, oh, as long as you've had some food and let's meet up, that's great. And then the message that did it for me was, Joe, do you think we could have a hug tonight? And I was like, ooh, I don't even know your last name. I'm really sorry. And it just gave me the massive ick. It was all quite, intense. And I was just like, I need to listen to my gut, because I haven't done that. And I've made things fit and I've gone along with it. And then before I know it, I'm helping somebody else feel better about themselves, or I'm not there to, nobody needs to fix me. I'm quirky and crackers. I'll fix myself. And I don't want to have to feed somebody else's. It was just insecurity, need. And I just, judge me for it or not. I have to go with how I felt historically. And I just said, I'm just out. I just can't. I can't fix anybody.
Yeah.
So
It's a sh- do you
it is a
think-
shame.
Do you think though that that's the nature of these dating apps as well, that people can come across really needy that maybe not so much, but they've had such bad experiences of them, they just get overly excited.
I think we're torn between, you get the ones who hardly message it and then the ones who are like intense, and it is kind of like that, incredibly needy bomb type messaging. And then you're like, I mean, I was talking about it last week on the podcast and I was really excited, but in the back of my mind, I thought, if I told them he bloody sent me pictures of his coffee machine and he did send me a picture of the saxophone and the guitar. I didn't get a picture of the synthesizer, but I think that was coming next. Like, I was just like, oh, and then, and I did feel really mean, but I just thought, I just can't,
So for guys, it's about messaging enough to be attentive, but not too much to be annoying.
yeah, and it's not about, God, bloody women, you can never sort of, God, you can't please them, can you? Da, 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 da. No, if you read them and if it was you would feel exactly the same. It isn't just bloody hell, what's she on? I had to listen to my gut, and it was just too much.
I do think that is the men don't never know, because we are quite hard to please. Sometimes we want loads of messages. Sometimes in a message, it's like, oh my God, go away, you're too much. So I do think men
And it
find
depends
that
on
quite
what
hard.
relationship they've been in before as well. So if they've been in a relationship with a really needy woman, then they're just going to move that to you and think that that's what you want, and it might not be.
Yeah.
He
Or
was
vice
just
versa.
really needy. He was quite needy, and what's special about me? Why pick me? And I was like, I don't.
Yeah, or maybe just wanted his ego stroked a bit, or
and I'm not here for that. I'm here for just, somebody when you're on. It's very hard, isn't it? It's a flat screen, and I don't think he was a bad person. I don't think he was any of those things. I just think dating apps are just a bit too flat for me, and I'd rather meet somebody organically. Something a bit different, I think, is definitely where I want to be.
So Lise, how was your week?
yeah, I had one date. It was really nice. Yeah, he seems a nice guy. Going out again tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. Just jury's out. I don't even really know him very well, so it's difficult to say. But he's, again, on paper, ticks some boxes, and yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
So from where you was last week, you met a guy that there was a bit of a mistaken identity with him.
Yeah.
So how did that pan out, or was that just agreed to leave it as friends?
No, we were supposed to be going out for another drink, but when it's just kind of like, that they're speaking to other people, he probably knows I'm speaking to other people, and it's just that whole like, if we kind of catch up again at the right timing, perhaps that will happen again, but it hasn't yet. And yeah, this other one, there's another guy that I'm chatting to that seems really nice. Yeah, they're all it's just different people offer different things, don't they? And then you kind of think, oh, I want that in that person, that in that person, and that in that person, just mold them all together.
Yeah. And it's not until you meet people that you actually get a better feel for them anyway, is it really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So where is everyone emotionally? Because obviously this has been a very small capsule of a few weeks on dating apps, and I know emotionally they can be a roller coaster, and that's probably been heightened by having this podcast as well in the background for you guys. So where are you all emotionally with what you're thinking, where you are now, and what you're going to go to next?
I was really sort of giddy, excited, thinking it was going to be a different kind of feel. I mean, I've not dated for like 18 months, and I don't know if I thought it was going to be some sort of magical bean that was going to like change in the dating world, but it is the same kind of pitfalls and the same kind of people. And there's a lot of people opting out of dating apps now because it is just such a bloody swamp, isn't it? It's not a pool, it's a swamp. So for me, I tried it. Next, there's got to be a different way of doing it. There has to be a better way of doing it. And dating apps for me, it's there all the time. There's got to be a better way for your headspace. It's just not a nice place. But who knows who's out there? You just never know who's in Lidl. That's all I'll say. Or, who's watching? Slide into Lisa's DMs. You can't slide into mine.
I think that I will see how this date goes. I've just gone for it for the last 4 weeks. I've gone on every kind of date offered. I've swiped on people that I maybe wouldn't swipe on. And I thought for this whole month, I'm just going to give it my all. And I'm so pleased that I have. It has been very time consuming and emotional and overwhelming. But I think I'm going to go out on this date on Thursday, see what happens. If nothing happens with that, I think I'm going to give it a break for a month or so, take some headspace, try to go to some events like Joe was talking about, see if I can meet people like that. Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm still proactive. I'm still going to love the apps. I still think they're a great way if you can take it, because it is hard and be thick-skinned. I will still carry on in them, but I just think you need a break every now and again.
Lisa, how about you?
I've run out of people. I've run out of people again, so that's it. I'm just joining a nunnery and I'm done.
But I have found the whole experience such a blast. I've loved every minute of it. It's taken me out of my comfort zone. I've met some brilliant people that I would never have met, and I just say, yeah, thank you, Ella. It's just been wonderful, and I really hope that we can. Well, I know we'll continue chatting, but I really hope that in 6 months' time we can meet again and have a little update of what's gone on.
We're all coming to each other's weddings.
Oh yeah.
In the dog or the iron.
Well, what I wanted to do was actually leave it sort of 5-6 weeks just to see where you are. Realistically, for me, I think I never expected to do a podcast where we got 3 people on dating apps and they were all going to meet people, because realistically, the chances are very slim. What I did want, and which you guys have done fantastically well, is just share the experience of being on dating apps. And I think what's been great is you've not only shared it with everyone else, you've actually shared it with each other. And for those that obviously you're not on the WhatsApp group, you're not privy to that, but Saturday night I was looking at the WhatsApp group and these guys were chatting at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So that for me,
For too many of those.
yeah, I bet. But that's a wonderful thing.
I'm sorry.
And I think maybe if we could set more of these little WhatsApp groups up of people where they don't know, but they know they're in the same situation. I think that's been one of the key things, that the 3 of you, although your situations might be slightly different, you're in the same sort of end game, if you like, where would like to meet someone. It's not a necessity. No. But it would be nice, and it's the process of meeting people is great to share. Have you not found that?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, because when you're actually feeling like you're feeling really insecure about something, you can just talk about it without sounding like an idiot, and people listen to you, and it's nice. It is nice.
And I have got a couple of single friends, but most of my friendship group are all married, and they've been married for 20 years, and they just don't have the same. They can appreciate, but they don't have the same perspective, and they can't really relate quite as well as you ladies can.
No, I'd just like to apologise to my friends because the saga continues.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun, Joe. They love it. They love it. My married friends do actually quite like hearing about it.
I'm still hopeful I'm going to go out one night, see someone across a crowded room, they're going to buy me a drink and ask me on a date, and it's just going to happen, like, really naturally. We can still hold out hope.
You have to have it.
So one word answers. For someone that was newly single, was looking at dating apps, what dating app would you say you found the best experience on so far? And we'll start with Lisa.
See, I was going to say Bumble, and now I'm thinking Hinge. Hinge or Bumble?
Hinge or Bumble?
Hinge. One word.
Joe?
Hinge.
Hinge.
Okay, so most of us are thinking probably Hinge would be better. Lisa's had some success with Bumble.
Only because if you're newly single, then it gives the power to you to message. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you're newly single, it kind of puts the onus on you, and that might feel better as a control thing. But maybe actually, if you're newly single, you want the man to approach you because you're, a bit anxious or nervous about it. So I don't know. Depends what sort of person you are.
So if you're a more confident person, do you think Bumble is probably better?
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I went on Bumble on Saturday, and that's who I swiped with. The date on Thursday is from Bumble. So, yeah.
Mix it up.
So if you could meet, in an ideal world with everything being perfect, if you could meet someone on a dating app organically, Fee, what would it be?
Organically.
Joe?
Organically.
Lisa?
Organically.
It's hard to beat that, isn't it?
What about
Yeah.
you? What?
Organically. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think it makes the process so much easier. You're doing the same things without realizing. I think you don't feel like you're upsetting as many people either when you do it
No.
organically.
It doesn't feel so shallow. It doesn't feel
No.
quite
No.
so shallow.
I think the thing is, there's really nice guys out there. There's really nice girls out there. But how are they connecting? And that's the
Yeah.
that's the missing bit, isn't it? In the middle, it's like where they're connecting, and they're not. A lot of people are just really happy being single, and I think the statistics for people living on their own is going up, isn't it? Because we're so independent and and that's quite sad in a way. So maybe we just get to that stage where we just want a companion. We go out for
Yeah.
dinner.
Oh
A
God, no.
companion.
Well, I've just
Sounds
watched
old.
Bridget. I've just watched Bridget Jones and Baby Girl, and they're both gone with a lot younger guys. So I'm thinking maybe that's the new tactic.
I think that's a tactic you've had for quite a while, though, Lucy.
No, not really.
Hey, if it works, do it. So, lastly, I just wanted to say a massive thank you, guys, for doing this.
Oh, it's been
It's
been
been really
amazing.
humbling, and I'm look forward to speaking to you again soon. Okay,
Bye.
bye bye, guys. So that brings us to the end of this mini-series podcast of where we followed the journey of these three women across online dating apps, and just following their relationships throughout the last 4 weeks, not just with other people, but with each other, and how that's flourished and how that's gone on to hopefully something that they'll be able to stay connected and help each other going forward in the future, which goes to show you being single is not about being alone. That brings us to the end of this series, where we followed these three women across their dating journeys on online apps and online dating. It's been a great experience for me to share their stories with you. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Don't worry, we will catch up with all three women in a few weeks' time to see how they're doing and what they're up to, and to see if they've met people yet. But from next week, we start with another three women, a new group that I'm delighted for you to meet. So hopefully you'll be able to catch up and join us then. Thank you for joining 50 Shades of Grey today. Thank you for your time. Really hope you're enjoying the podcast. Make sure you subscribe and follow, and send me any comments that you might have. Take care. Bye-bye.